Hello everyone, welcome to today's practice. It's a beautiful day today, and we are going to be practicing legs and lower body movement. We'll start with our feet nicely grounded on the mat. Tap into your feet well. We'll start with activating the feet and we'll get into chair pose. Sink your hips down, make sure your knees are behind your toes. Inhale when you're sitting and exhale when you come back up. Utkarasana is a great way to activate your legs, works on your thighs, your hips, your core. Also gives a little stretch to your arms. You can also do this pose with hands to heart. Next, we'll move to chair pose. This time we'll deepen the pose a little bit. We'll keep sinking down and come back up. Taking our feet to the corners of the mat, we'll take a counter pose. 5 to 10 times forward folds. Make sure your knees are straight, you're looking forward, and you're making your chest and back parallel to the mat. This is a great way to work your hamstrings. Feet together, we'll come up on the toes to work our toes and our ankles and basically the entire foot. So every time you're coming up on your toes, try to put the pressure back on the mounts and free up your toes, lighten them a little bit. And then very slowly bring your heels down. Then again come back up and again transfer the pressure on the mounts. Do this a few times. Very good workout for the entire feet. We'll take some ankle rotations. Try to keep your balance. 10 times clockwise, 10 times anti-clockwise. We'll repeat the same for the left leg. Keep grounding onto your right foot, heavy right foot. Bringing your feet together, inhale, arms up, exhale, first forward fold, bend your knees a little bit, lengthen, go down towards the mat, then straighten your knees and keep increasing your range of motion. Inhale, come up to your half fold, hands on your thighs, exhale, forward fold. Inhale, arms up, exhale, hands to heart. We'll get into the warrior poses a bit. Take your right foot back, make sure it's perpendicular to your left foot. Extend your arms, bend your left knee and come to warrior 2. Now you can take 10 rounds of warrior 2, bending your knee each time. Or you could just continue staying in the warrior pose for 10 counts. Maybe you could do a combination of both. Right foot steps forward to Samastiti, left foot goes back and we'll check for the same alignments. Extend our hands and come to warrior 2. Make sure to engage your core. Alert arms, alert limbs. Make sure your knee is not falling in. Samastiti. Taking our right foot back, we'll now come to warrior 1. Heel behind heel, make sure your chest is out. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, bend. Make sure your back foot is 40 to 60 degrees out. This time it's not perpendicular. Make sure your shoulders are down, your back is straight. Keep breathing. Back to Samastiti. Take your left foot back. Again, check for the same alignment, heel behind heel, and your back foot is 40 to 60 degrees out. Hips back, chest out. Inhale, raise your arms up. Exhale, come to warrior 1. Heavy front foot. Engage your thigh. Make sure your knee is not falling in. Engage your core. Stay in the pose for a few counts. Until you come back up. Samastiti. Hands by your side. Inhale, arms up. Exhale, forward fold. Press your palms into the mat and both your feet step back and downward facing dog. Bend your knee one by one if you want to and slowly settle down in downward facing dog. Press your heels into the mat. Settle in downward facing dog and prepare yourself for leg raises. We'll be doing 10 times each leg. Now you can choose to keep your entire left foot on the mat, or if you want, you can come on your left toe and maintain that balance. Make sure you're not leaning onto either side. Your palms are nicely grounded into the mat and are taking all the weight. We'll repeat leg raises 8 to 10 times for each leg. Back to your downward facing dog. Raise your right leg up, bend your knee and step between your palms. Back knee down. Make sure your back foot is untucked and is facing to the back of the room. Interlock your fingers on your knees or on your thighs and lunge forward. Sink your hips down, chest out, no rounding in the upper back. Palms on the mat, tuck your back toe and some knee dips. We'll do this a few times. And then our right foot steps back and we come back to our downward facing dog. Left leg goes up and steps between the palms. We'll repeat the same sequence, lunging forward. Maintain your balance here. Your back leg is extremely important and your front foot is also equally important. Some knee dips. And back to downward facing dog. Settle yourself in downward facing dog for 5 counts. Keep breathing in through your nose. Knees down, take them to the corners of the mat and sit back. Hips on your heels. We are more than halfway through the practice. Use this time to oxygenate yourself. Keep breathing in through your nose. Keep pushing your chest down towards the mat. Get back up, tuck your toes and back to downward facing dog. Now raise your right leg up, bend your right knee and try to stack your right hip on top of your left hip. So really opening your pelvic region there without leaning from your upper body. So you have to twist from your lower body and come back. We'll repeat the same for the left leg. Opening the pelvic region, stacking the hips on top of the another. Try to really take that twist using your pelvic. Slowly come back to downward facing dog. Step forward with both your feet to the corners of the mat and we are back to the good old Malasana. Tuck your hands under your feet and we'll take some supported sit-ups. Take your time with this one, really feeling the strength each set is bringing to your lower body. Maybe take 5 to 10 counts of this one and then back to downward facing dog. Drop your knees down, untuck your toes and come to child's pose. We are going to retire for the day today in child's pose. Now you can continue staying like this. Keep breathing in through your nose. Or you can open up your knees a little bit to make sure your chest is down onto the mat. Make yourself really comfortable here. And take 10 to 15 deep conscious breaths. Wind down after the practice. I've added some mobility exercises that I also did during the session. So here are some lunges that I did for 3 different angles: forward, 40 degrees and then 90 degrees. I did it for both the legs. And then I went to my favorite half split. bring your toes towards yourself really gives you an additional stretch. The last exercise that I did is really interesting. You have to drop your knees down to the mat and come back. Now remember, you have to drop them one by one, not together. So right and left, right and left. If you look carefully at the video, this looks like a mini wave. And this is a very good way to work your thighs, legs and your abs. I'll see you tomorrow. Keep practicing. Take care.